This is becoming a nail biter. I am still on electric power. I have 2 miles left on the trip computer and 2 miles to home. Hey guys, this right here is a brand new BMW X3 xDrive 30e. What does it mean? That means it's a plug-in. Basically, it has an engine right under there. It's a 2-liter turbocharged engine, and it has a battery, and I'm charging it right now. And in this review, I'm gonna take this car home. It's about a 25-ish mile drive, and I'm gonna show you exactly how much energy I'm using, if this battery in this plug-in BMW enough to take me home. And I'm gonna bring it back to the office tomorrow and tell you all about it, what happened. You can see we have it plugged in here at the office. It's right there. It's waiting, that means it's totally full. Now I can unlock the car. I have a green light right here, do you see that? Which means I can unplug it. This has a 12 kilowatt hour battery, but only about 10.8 of that is usable because of course manufacturers like BMW want to give you some buffer and to preserve life of the battery. I have 16 miles of all electric range. I can use the eDrive button and go to maximum eDrive, which means basically electric mode. So, and I'll show you how far I can get. It says 16 miles are possible. Yes, as you can tell, it's the next morning. And before I show you pretty surprising results from last night and what the car did today, I wanted to show you this brand new X3, walk around it and actually discuss a little bit what this car is actually like, this crossover SUV is actually like. Because usually what happens, or sometimes what happens when you combine different technologies into one, it can be clunky. But sometimes it can be best of breed, which by that I mean best of all worlds, combining gasoline power, electric motor, battery power, etc. So let's just kind of take a walk around. So this is an X3 that looks fairly standard. I mean, it's a nice performance crossover. From afar, you won't be able to tell that it's a plug-in hybrid, unless of course you notice that little door on the front fender, which is where the actual plug is. And brake package, 20-inch wheels. I really love the way this looks. A blue caliper right there. I'm in love with this interior. I love this combination. They call it, I believe, cognac leather. I won't be able to pronounce the full name of this leather, but this leather is quite spectacular. I love the color combination with kind of this aluminum trim. I'm also gonna tell you the price in a minute. And it's not a very, of course, cheap vehicle. So I'm sitting behind myself, and this is another beauty of a crossover, right? SUV. It's roominess, it's capability, capacity, utility. So I'm sitting behind myself, just over 6'2". I have headroom, I have leg room, separate climate control in the back, chargers everywhere. Pretty nice. This has a full panoramic sunroof. Then down here in the back, here's the cargo area. You can kind of see there's a little bit of space here taken up by some of the battery and electronics, but it's well done. This is kind of an aluminum cover, this metal cover, and you can kind of see some of the other items. Of course, here's your charger if you wanted to plug in like in a standard outlet, and up here there's some electronics in there as well. Dual exhaust pipes. So this, this is also meant to be a fairly good performance vehicle, right? So total horsepower, electric and gasoline combined, is around 288. This has an 8-speed automatic transmission. The electric motor is kind of sandwiched between the engine and the transmission, so it still has all-wheel drive. Of course, xDrive, as you can see right here. And this 30E is the only way you can kind of tell also in the back that this is a plug-in. Very subtle. This is where you fill up your gas, obviously. All right, so let me pop the hood really quick and then I'll show you the results of what happened last night when I used only electricity to get home. Of course, this is a BMW, so a double pull. So once again, it's very neat, very clean. So when I left last night, I put the car, this X3, into max e-drive mode, which means I have reduced power, also reduced total maximum speed. But on the way home, I did not feel like I needed any more power. I was feeling, in an efficient mood. I wasn't racing. It was kind of a commute. There was almost no traffic. And I was going between 45 and 55 speed limit roads, no highway driving. And when I got home, I was blown away. Well, here are the results. Okay, I'm about most of the way home, not quite, but I'm pretty shocked because let me show you what just happened. I just pulled off in this little shopping area closer to my house, and watch this. I went already 16.4 miles and I have 7 miles left according to the computer, and I am averaging about 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour. So yes, I'm not driving on the highway. I am doing mostly kind of a commuting speeds, 45 to 50, as you have just seen, and it seems to be quite efficient, more efficient than I expected, and more efficient than I estimated at first. Can I make it all the way home? I have about 8 or 9 miles left. Let's check it out. Maybe I can. That would be pretty amazing if I can get it home on electricity alone without using a drop of fuel. This is becoming a nail biter. I am still on electric power. I have 2 miles left on the trip computer and 2 miles to home. And of course I have a fuel gas tank. So, I mean, I'm not gonna be stuck or anything. This is a plug-in hybrid. Okay, my electric range went to nothing, but I still haven't heard the engine kick on. I went 21.8 miles. Okay, I've reached my home. 22.7 miles and almost basically no range left, but I haven't heard the engine kick on. I'm really amazed. This is cool. I was able to make this battery last all the way home. Yeah, I went 22.8 miles without ever hearing this engine fire up, without ever using gasoline power. And the range, as BMW states it, is between 16 to 17 miles. So your results will vary depending on your driving style. I felt pretty, relaxed last night. I wasn't racing. But then this morning, I was in a sporty mood and I put my foot down. The battery was fully depleted. Well, let me show you the result. All right, so now it's time to go back to the office. I did not charge the car overnight, so I'm gonna be using mostly my gasoline power and see how that type of driving works. Okay, so the engine is still not on, so I might have one more mile to go on electricity. So as you can see, I'm using my engine power. I do have full power, but I went 5 miles on gasoline power alone, and I gained about 3 miles of electric range because the engine is actually charging the battery as I go. So right now I'm not in a very efficient drive mode, but I'm still having fun and accelerating quite briskly because in electric mode I have limited speed and limited power. Okay, so I took a slightly different route this morning due to traffic. I went, if you could see this, 24.2 miles. 7.7 miles of that was electric because I was in this automatic mode, and also I was in battery control mode, which uses the gasoline engine to kind of add more charge into the battery as you're driving. I have about 3 miles of range left, according to this trip meter. So yeah, so this wasn't the most efficient way of driving, of course, but I had fun. I accelerated hard a few times, and I averaged about 29 mpg. This is real world, short, kind of a shorter commute type test. So there you have it. I think that this BMW combines best of both worlds. You have performance, handling, you have range, about 300 miles actually, according to this trip computer. Electric power, you can be relaxed, but all of this comes at a price, of course, $64,000. Yes, this is not the most affordable SUV, but I think, as you can see, it combines a lot of the best elements, puts them together in a nice utility package, and I actually really enjoyed it. And as always, go back to TFLcar.com for all the news, views, and real world plug-in crossover SUV reviews.